Hey, hi, hello. Welcome to Vivid Vibration. My name is Christina. I'm going to be doing your general read, Cappies, for, I don't know, until we meet again. Okay. Let's see what we can get here for my Cappies. It is like, it got cold. Oh, Cappies, what's going on? Okay. Shit. Okay. We have the river, the father, Gnosis, Agape, Mystic, the Creator, the Queen, and the Womb. Okay. I'm going to say that there's an idea coming through here that I don't know, like Cappies, I kind of feel like you're a little bit embarrassed with yourself, you know? You're like you just want to like you fell off your pedestal, you know? I think that there was something going on in your life that you really thought you had control over it, and then you found out that you didn't, you know? And I almost want to say you had yourself on a bit of a hero villain complex, you know? You feel me? Like you had yourself in that role, and you were getting off on it, you know? Getting off on the power, and then feeling down when things went south. And I think, kind of witnessed like a loss. I feel like for the past couple of your reads, there has been this idea of like this ending or like this loss that you've experienced with somebody who you had a really, like you were connected to that person. Like that person was like your family, you know? And even when that person wasn't around, they were still always on the tip of your tongue. You know what I mean? Like they were still always a point of conversation for you, even when they weren't there. You know? And it's that idea of like, what have I given up? Like what did I feel like you just kind of like, shit, what did I do? You know? Like you thought you were being smart, but you weren't. There was something you were missing. You know, I mean, it's kind of like there's something you were missing along the way. And I feel like there's almost like this intuitive knowing, you know, like I get the feeling of like I knew it all along. You know what I mean? Like I feel like you knew all along what this person meant to you. You know, like you knew all along how much you cared for them. But you just, I don't know if you like brushed them aside, and for whatever reason they moved on. And I don't know if you run into this person, but I feel like there's this idea of like you really just like your eyes being opened up to that. Like you really seeing, I almost want to say like see what it means to have this person like leave you behind. see what it means to you, like, I almost want to say, like, you didn't have a fucking clue what was going on in their life. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't really know the reality that they were facing. And I almost want to say that when this person shares this with you, like, shares the reality of what they've been experiencing, that you are just like, your eyes are opened up to like how little you've actually known. And Cappies, I mean, one of the things about my Cappies that I love is that you guys are always like, you're the ones who, you know, when you get home at the end of the day, your Cappies, like, they want to know, like, how was your day? And they're going to stand there and they're going to listen to your day, and they're not going to rush you, you know, like, they're genuinely interested in who you are as a person. And, you know, like, Cappies don't ever try and change you. They just accept you for who you are. So it's like I feel like for a Cappy to revisit with somebody and realize all the things they didn't know is like I feel like that knocks you down in a really big way, like feeling left out. You know, and understanding, I think, also, like, why, you know, because there has been this idea of connection, you know, like, of like, I've always known I was connected to this person. You know, I think that's why you always felt like they were never actually going to go anywhere, because the connection that you had with them was so strong, you know, that it, like, no other connection touched it, you know. So you were like I like that they're always going to be there, but them coming to you and saying, you know, like, I'm really sorry, but like I have to let this connection go, and that really throwing you. I wonder if that's not like playing itself out now. Like, it's just kind of been this, because another thing that I've learned about energy is that, like, it's almost like you can, like, the idea of like seeing the signs, but it's true. Like, you see it play itself out in like little ways, like little bursts of energy here and there. And I feel like there have just been these bursts of energy for you, Cap, where you've been revisiting with people in your, like, over your past, you know, however many years of life that you've experienced, you know, that you were just like going back and revisiting with all these people and all these memories and all these experiences, because it's kind of this idea of like a recycled experience, you know, like, because I feel like you're coming back at it this time a little bit more mature. You know, I feel like this time you're like you see what happens if you don't tend to that connection breaks and dies, you know, like. And I feel like there was this idea of, like, you thought you could, that connection that you share with that person could never die, and then you realized that it could, you know, then you realized it like it had. And I want to say that this, like, this awakening, this knowledge that's being brought to you is really like sparking something inside of you, to want to fight for this person. I don't like, I feel like, again, it's one of those, like, I feel like this has been like a culmination of energy, you know, like there have been all of these little things, Cappies, that you guys have just kind of been little experiences here and there, but it's in the air because it's getting you ready for what's to come next. And what I feel like you're still coming up to that full on, like, revelation, or maybe you guys have literally just experienced this full on revelation where you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, I had no idea. And how could I not have an idea? How could I not know that? Cappies, I feel like there's a part of you that feels like, how could I have failed? You know, like, I failed them. That's so sweet. But yeah, that you're seeing this, I think that you're having this awakening, you're having this understanding, and it's kind of influencing you to really, like, create something new and different. And I want to say, you know, like, creating something safe, because the womb is the idea of growth and development. else can I get for my Cappies? The Ten of Wands, the Ten of Cups, and the Two of Cups. Yeah, I mean, like, because this relationship that you've had with this person, you know, like, even if you guys had parted ways, because that was the thing, it was like we couldn't, you know, it was like that, well, we'll always be friends, or we'll always care for each other, you know, I mean, that type of, like, generic, you know, like, you're, like, you were once important to me, you know, like, pat on the head kind of condolence. I feel like that's kind of where you had been with that person, you know, like, you had been, like, taken down to that, oh, well, it was really nice to know you, and I think that shocked you, because I think that you thought that your connection and your bond was like, you had always had a knowing about the connection that you had shared with this person, which is why I think you thought, I almost want to say, like, the idea of, like, backburning it. And you know what? One of my Caps is a Sag rising, so that makes sense. But it's one of my Sages is a Cap rising. Okay, so yeah, it definitely makes sense. You guys would have that in your Sag. But that idea of, like, backburnering this person because you just thought they would always be there. And you were, and then, you know, you go back and you check and they're not there anymore. And you're like, well, wait a second, I thought you'd always be there. And they were like, Cap, I mean, what'd you want from me, man? You know, like you bounced on this connection, and they got on with their life, you know what I mean? Like, they got on with everything, and they had to cut their connection with you out, because if they shared in that connection with you, they weren't going to be able to share in that connection with anybody else, because nobody else was going to be you know. And it's just kind of like they had to sever that tie, and I think now that you're understanding why it's like that, when it show up the one night as like a drunken, you know, like a throw-in kind of thing, you know. But I think that's because, you know, that the idea behind it all, Cappy, is that, you know, like, when you're with this person, I think you feel very close to them. You feel very, like, calm and like comfortable with them. You know, like, you know what they represent, you know, in terms of your family and in terms of your, like, of your heart space. Like, I feel like there is a part of this person that just, like, feels like home, you know, that they're like, you know, being with them means having this fullness of life, you know, like your home is brimming over with love, you know. I mean, it's kind of like, and I feel like you're just kind of seeing, like, how much, like, they have meant to you. And I almost want to say, in terms of the other read, because there have been a couple of reads, but it was just that idea of, like, you were trying to, like, replace that, you know. You were like, no, but I'm really down for this person. Like, see, I don't care about that person. It does. It has a lot of the Saggy vibes to it. Interesting. We have the Knight of Cups, the Eight of Wands, and the Two of Wands. Yeah, and I mean, I kind of get the feeling, like, Cappies, that really what this is that, like, that waking up to seeing, like, what you were missing with that connection with that person, like, that you just took them for granted, I want to say, you know, like, you expected them to always be there, you know, because you were but you're like family, you were like home, of course you'll always be here, you know, except for that when they're not your family and they're not your home and they're not, you know, like, it's like, you know, they're not going to be there, that, you know, like, they're going to have to go and make their home and their family elsewhere. And it's like, I don't know, it just like seems like for whatever reason that really just kind of blows your mind, and makes you want to like move toward, you know, like bringing this. I mean, you have the Two of Wands and the Two of Cups, but I mean, I just feel like this, like bringing them in and, you know, working on building your life together, you know, building your home together. You guys have so much care for your homes, you know. Okay, let's see what else we can get for my Cappies. I feel like this is a really short read. We have the Seven of Pentacles and Santa Muerta. Santa Muerta, came out for my Taurus too. You know, Caps, I almost want to say, like, y'all can be really competitive. You know, like you're the goats, right? That's what you say. And you hustle hard. You work hard. You show up. You're the one who's there, you know, 6 days a week. Like, you bust ass for what you love, for your family, you know, you are like a hard worker and you care for what's yours, you know what I mean? And I feel like there's an idea here of you like taking note of other people in comparison to this person. I really do feel like that has been a theme in your reads, is that like you've tried to hold other people up to this person, you know, and it's like not a fucking one of these people measures up, because it's coming out as this like illumination of like holy shit, you know, like now it's almost like you didn't see their value until you saw them stand up against other people, and then you were like, damn, what have I done, you know? I almost want to say, like, go back and create a safe space for them, because, you know, the reason they had to leave was because you were disconnected from them, you know, like, even though there was a connection, it was like a rejected connection. I don't even think you guys were doing it on purpose. It's the crazy thing. Like, I feel like this, like, almost this, like, you feel foolish, you know? like you feel like you fell, lost your way somehow. Life renewed, the Hermit, and the Five of Wands. I mean, I feel like the Hermit in this card is really just kind of that idea of like pulling away, because I almost want to say, like, in terms of like the idea of revelation, you know, like, okay, if I'm like I gotta step back, because Cappies, I really do kind of get the feeling that there's this, you always knew what this person meant to you. You always knew their value. Like, you always had an awareness of this, like, what this person meant to you. And you would fight anybody who would tell you that person that person meant more to you than what they actually did. Because you would be like, no, that's not true. Like, see how connected I am with so-and-so. So this is like, you know, I feel like there's this idea that you fought this connection that you had with somebody, and like thinking that you would always have this connection, and then when you realized like the importance and the significance of this question, it was only after you had pitted against other things to prove prove it wrong. I mean, I feel like you really kind of have insulted this person quite a bit, Cap. So, I mean, the Five of Wands, like, I wonder if there's not, like, a point of separation, you know? I mean, like, there comes a point in time where if you, like, if you're constantly fighting with the people in your environment because you don't want to acknowledge somebody else in your environment, and then you go and you acknowledge that person in your environment that same way, then you have to eat, like, it's like you are eating I feel like that's what this feels like. You're like, I gotta eat shit either way. Fuck. Because I don't think that you ever really thought that this person would like say to you whatever it is that they've said to you, you know? And I think you are like, holy shit, like this got real, and feel like you have to make a decision, you know. And I feel like you're looking back over all the times you fought, you know. It's almost like you had this like illumination into like, what is it that you really wanted all along, and it was the one thing that you were telling everybody you didn't want. But because of that, all those people are people you would have to part ways with, you know, because you made such a stink, such a fuss about how you didn't actually want that person, that you're gonna make an ass of yourself to be in a relationship with that person. It feels like an element of like you just stuck your foot in your mouth, and then because of that you're separating, you're parting ways, but that you're having to make a decision on which way you want to go and who you want to go with, because you can't. It's like you can't live in both worlds. Death to what was. You've got to give birth to new life. So yeah, that's what's coming through here. I mean, I feel like that's been coming through in your reads for the past few reads anyways. The Siren, yeah, but I feel it does. I mean, that was the one read. It was that idea of like this, like you show up, you know, like drunk, just like fucking, this is everything that I want, and you know, like, and I want to be with you, and you're the one that I love. And I feel like there's just like this, like you guys have this like expression where you just like reveal everything, because you recognize the fact that you're losing one thing or you're losing another thing, but like either way you're losing, and you're really being faced with like what it is that you've actually wanted. And I think you've actually cared about this person for a long time, Cappies, and I think this person has actually loved you and loved you as family, you know. Like I feel like this person has had a huge impact in your life, and like the idea of losing them is like, it seems like it's more than you really want to even have to face, so much so that, you know, like I want to say like you're willing to like bring an end to and part ways with anything that's standing in your way of that life renewed. That's sweet, Cappies. I hope this resonates with y'all. Thank you so much for spending some time with me, and